All right, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to Golden Dice Podcast.
Go.
We don't start over here. We're not doing that.
All right.
Dude, now they don't know what episode this is.
I'm still not recording, Jack. So
that's
we
fine.
are starting over. Yeah.
No, you're good. You're good. What episode is this? 49? Dude, almost the big five. We're almost old as you, Tommy.
Yeah. We're going to be like a full minute off because I didn't start recording because I had no idea you were starting.
Tommy, we don't do that anymore.
No,
it's all on my end. All on my end, dude. And this is all staying, dude. This is all staying.
All this is staying? Oh, that's
all
great. I don't look like the fool right now.
Yeah, dude. Tommy looks like so dumb. Look at that.
Yes, I am ill-informed is more accurate.
Look at that. Now we're just recording everything through my end. Just to let you live. We're here.
This is why people tune in.
I want to let Tommy bloom, right? We all know he's the mind behind this podcast. I just gotta give him space.
What?
And just let his mind go to work. All right.
I believe that. That's fair.
What?
Tom, we all know that you're a genius. All right. We don't have to go through your decks that have been relevant in the meta. You've had one in like.
Am I
each
talking
meta.
to Mr. Chip or Jack?
Dude. Chip's actually behind me with a gun, saying the same.
Yeah.
And then Zach is behind him with a knife.
Yeah, probably.
All right. Anyways, this is episode number 49, and so we got a lot to discuss. There's a lot happening on Tuesday, I guess it was yesterday. We're recording Wednesday night, so there was a bunch. Before we really dive into the rules reference and the errata, balance of the force, all that stuff, wanted to at least just mention the UK Nationals, which happened just this past weekend as well. And I want to say that Scott and I had the exact top 4 predictions. I did change mine, but that was because Scott picked mine. But I truly had what he had. So we had the exact top 4. And then I also predicted that the 32nd hero player would be somewhere around like 70 to 80. And the 32nd top hero player was 78. Which is hilarious.
Let's clap it up for Jack. He's the
Look
man.
at that.
Woo.
Look at that, dude.
I can a big pat on the shoulder.
Dude, you know what? I should stop playing in tournaments and I should just predict tournaments, and I think I'd keep my track record, better.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, if that's what you're into, man.
Yeah.
I support you.
Dude, you know what? Savage Asajj coming to Worlds. 2 shot collars.
Yep, there it is.
I thought we were going to get to see Savage Asajj on stream.
Close enough.
Yeah, this week
Close
was
enough.
very, very close enough.
We'll get to that later, though.
So, just on the UK Grand Championship, as it's now called, congratulations to Greg Pike again for back-to-back wins, which is just insane. The only other, oh gosh, who was it? It was Blake, I believe, from Destiny Down Under, who back-to-backed Australia's nationals. And then
A lot of players in Australia?
it's just him.
Did they have
actually.
kangaroos playing too? Or
No, it's literally just him. That's why he back-to-back.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
This is why people don't like Americans.
No, it's the Australians that are banned from Oktoberfest in Germany. So not us.
Are there any more stereotypes we'd like to cover? I mean, we are from the Philly area, so people are gonna be like, "Oh, why don't you go throw something at Santa Claus?
Yeah, I'll throw a snowball with a battery at you.
Why don't you eat a cheesesteak?
I will. I love cheesesteaks.
Drink some water."
It is water, first of all. Everyone get
Water.
that straight.
Water.
No, it's
Water.
Water. Anyway.
2018 Super Bowl champs, baby. All right. So yeah, congrats to Greg Pike, and also shout out to Sarah Evans from iRebel for a second place finish. So I wasn't surprised that Snoqualmie Faust won, but Sarah took Phasma, Sentinel Messenger, Retribution much further. Got the matchups against Mill, got there, and obviously played great, but as expected of the Snoke 3Y, the thing's just unstoppable. And Greg was also hitting, like, I don't know if you watched any of the streams, but it was just like probe hit both events out of 4. Like, it was just like his probes and doubts were just like murdering people. So
That's when you to win a big event, man. That's you got to get some stuff's got to go your way like that.
Stars have to
It's
align.
your day. It's your day. That's just
Yeah.
how it goes. Sometimes you got to be a great player, but it's also got to be your day sometimes. So there's nothing wrong with that. Congratulations to him. 2
Absolutely.
times. Whew, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
yeah, last time he won it with Snoke, Bazine, Faust. Back
Remember
when
Bazine?
that was thing.
That's hilarious. Forgot Bazine was even in the game.
Imagine that a character so broken that they make Bazine relevant. Anyways, all right, so we'll roll into the rules reference that dropped this past week, and obviously that's kind of the big thing that everybody wants to know about. So we'll just go right down the list that we have in front of us. Actually, before we do that, I didn't copy and paste the Balance of the Force, so we'll mention that, and we can dive into that, and then we'll go through this list. So nobody was added to Balance of the Force, but we had 2 people taken off, and that was Ayla and Snoke. And I guess I'll just Snoke's stipulation now. His power action is dice showing damage only now. So you can't power action discard or resources or disrupt or whatever it might be. So we got Ayla and Snoke off of the Balance of the Force. So let's start off with Ayla. What do you guys think about that?
I like it a lot. I've always liked her. I think that Blue Hero definitely needs the help, and she's got a lot of places she can go.
I think it's fine. I think she's good. I have no problem with it. I'm not sure if that's enough to bring Hero back, into the fold, because the removal package is just still not good. That said, I think that you do want blue in your deck, so you can at least run Hidden Motive, and her special side is a form of soft mitigation while also focusing your own dice. So she does have, she definitely offers a lot at 12 points, being, relatively offensive, and has the ability to, disrupt your opponent a little bit, not in the literal sense, but in figuratively speaking, meaning they let you change their dice.
Yeah, I mean, I think Blue Hero's still like dead on arrival at this point. Like, I'm
more talking from like a rainbow sense. Like, I think you want.
Yeah. Well, I was going to get into that.
Want to make sure you get blue in there, but it's not. Yeah. I don't think blue has the cards to play alone right now. Definitely not the upgrade package, at least.
Yeah, that's why. Like, I don't know. Like, people have been clamoring for Blue Hero to come back. Like, Blue Hero sticks in what like we know as previous sets of it being really good, like the middle blue. But even like this, like none of the pairings excite me. There's like Mace, Ayla, which could be decent. Qui-Gon, Ayla, you can outdo without Bitter Rivalry, but like the events still just aren't there. The mitigation package isn't there. The upgrades aren't there. Like, it still needs a way to go. And we'll get into the spoilers in a little bit from the Spark of Hope stream that FFG did. And there's some interesting things that can bump Blue Hero up a little bit, but it's still got a long way to go. I think she'll be good in that 3 wide, as you mentioned, Tommy, package, just for being a good character. Blue, sure, whatever, but just 12 points, just a really good character. Lots of flexibility. And Brian, you kicked off with a 3 wide deck that you're trying to play with Ayla.
Yeah, I did Ayla, Satine, and a Rebel Engineer, and just went full on into the X-Wings, which, if it works, it's fantastic. If it doesn't work, it's still okay. I pulled it out the other day, and even though you and Scott were clamoring that I've made multiple mistakes, which I did, I just didn't want to hear it, I still pulled out a win against Phasma Sentinel Messenger, which could be a fluke. I mean, I did get 3 X-Wings out like turn 2, but she's so good. She's versatile. She can do whatever she, I don't feel the need to really mess with her dice all that much, because all is good except for blanks. So yeah, I like her a lot so far, and I've kind of, like, if you look at my DB page, besides all the trash you'll find, most of it right now is just Ayla. Everything's Ayla.
Yeah, I don't think I'm quite there yet, but I'm at least more interested in trying to see where she can go. Almost want to go back to that mold of what she was before the nerf, of like the Ayla, Rose, and a 7-point yellow character, which would now be Anakin instead of Ezra. So it's interesting.
You're forgetting somebody. You're forgetting who else could be.
7-point yellow.
Yeah, it's a
Misa.
Oh yeah, no thank you. No thanks.
Drink coaster.
Nope.
Take him out from under your water bottle and put him into your decks, boys.
Yeah.
You don't drink water when you're playing a game.
This is true. The stream is seen.
Yeah. No, I think I'll go with Anakin and stick with that. Stick with 3 resource sides or whatever he has. But it'll be interesting, because part of that too, like Ezra's resource stealing is just like absurd, and he also add that +2 where Anakin doesn't. He just has the resource ramp.
For the record, I was totally kidding. Don't put Jar Jar in the deck.
No, you were serious.
No.
And two
no,
shot
this time-
collars.
Well, that goes without saying. Every deck has to have 2 shot collars.
Yeah.
This meme will never die.
Nope, never ever.
Nothing's ever really gone.
But yeah, it's just interesting. That was good then. It's like, does that mean that's good now? You know, Rose with Kratos and Hawks is obviously a good combo, but is that still relevant and good with heroes? Probably not. Probably not. Like, I think there's just other stuff that will just ramp out quickly for the blue heroes. Like, they don't have the rally aid like they had before. You know, they only have tech team. So
Are there a lot of supports coming for this set? Sorry, Tom.
No, you're good.
Because I don't remember anything that's like stands out to me. Maybe supports are kind of gonna like quiet down this set. We'll see a little bit of different, like a little shake up.
I don't remember any being.
Nothing jumps out.
No, nothing. I mean, but we still have like 40 cards, I think. Like,
Yeah.
we're at 40 cards, out of 160 or whatever it normally is. So we're still, you know, ways away, and it's not like they even need to get anything. They just need to not get like nerfed in terms of supports, you know. But yeah, I think Ayla coming off is really interesting. I'm excited, and I think it's worth it that she's coming off. I don't think the meta or the state of the game is the same as it was when she got put on. So I'm happy to see her back. Blue Hero Styx is still relevant, but maybe she can make a 3-wide deck. So, all right. The other one we could talk about is I guess we could just jump to Snoke and just talk about him in general. So again, Snoke is back to 11-13, but now his power action reads deal 1 damage to another one of your characters to resolve one of its character dice showing damage, increasing its value by 2. Is Snoke dead?
Nah, I mean we'll see the Snoke for droid build creeping around. I think it definitely hurts the list. It limits your options. I still think that while you almost always would Snoke for damage, in that, or the way that deck was played, for the majority of the time, that people would Snoke for damage exclusively. But it's hard to deny or to not take a first turn resource with that power action when you have 2 to 3 cards in your hand that you know you can drop that turn. That would equate to more damage potentially over the course of the game than just Snoking for damage in that one turn. So I mean, it does limit your options. It limits what your opponent has to actually worry about. And you know, the meta is totally different now. So I think we'll see that deck. People are definitely going to try that deck at the very least. But Snoke will find a home. He's still playable. He's still fine. It's definitely not going to be in the same style of decks that we've been seeing him in. I think we're just going to see a major shift to Watt in that Snoke role. As a matter of fact, I think we've already seen Watt kind of in that role in some decks. People would prefer him. So I just think we'll keep moving in that direction for the time being, unfortunately.
No one's ever really gone.
Is that what we're going to title the episode that, or?
That's what I'm trying to go with. I don't know if Jack's the boss, really, so I can't really, I don't make any executive decisions around here. I don't make any decisions around here. But no, Tommy, I agree with you. I think that Snoke definitely is. I think Snoke's always going to be around. Like at his point cost now, especially at his point cost that he's lower. I think that he just slots anywhere. You know, even if he can't Snoke for discard, even if he can't Snoke for resources. You know, I still think that he's a solid character with solid dice, solid point cost. You know, he still fits. And is he going to be the powerhouse that he was? I mean, he's really the generator for most decks that we see. Or kind of. You know, he definitely plays a huge role, but I definitely think that he's still fine. You know, regardless of what they do to him, I think that he's still earning of his legendary status.
Yeah, I mean, because he's got a damage side, he's got focus sides, he's got a resource side, he's got the ability to now basically just increase your damage output, 2 to 1 in your favor. So, I mean, he still does a lot for you. And at 13 points, he's worth that. 11 health. He's a well-rounded character, access to blue and villain that's very powerful right now. So he's good, but we'll just have to see how it all shakes out. I definitely
sorry,
go ahead. I was just going to say I would definitely put the Snoke for droid on the table and put
Right.
whatever deck you're interested in playing against that at the very least.
Yeah, I mean, even decks like that still kind of, you can still make it work if you're doing damage. Snoking for the Battle Droid or snoking for Aphra, it's still good. Like, it's still great, even. So,
Well, yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, that was the
mostly.
whole plan, right? If you talk to, I mean, Drew and Cody from their Nova run, right? They wanted to snoke damage first. Like Tommy said, though, it now like pigeonholes you into like before you could snoke for resources and play Hailfire, if that's the hand that you're drawn type thing. But this is, you're not even going to have that option. What's more interesting to me is that I wonder if there is like a like what he settle into. We'll go back to something like, Tommy, I know you were messing around with Snoke Executioners for a little while, and like I wonder if something like that will be prevalent with Snoke, or like we saw IG-88. I think we saw his points. Was it? It was like he's 13-17 or something. So he fits right with Snoke, and he had like a 2-3-3 or something along those lines. So I mean, that's obviously a character that you're willing to snoke damage, or even somebody like the new Django coming out. He's got resource generation on his own, so you don't need to snoke for resources, and then you can power action the 1-2-1 to get some damage. But yeah, it'll certainly be interesting. I think Snoke's, unless like Snoke After Battle Droid ends up being really good in this current meta, I think he'll probably just be off to the wayside unless something else pops up for a pairing next set. I think that's just natural of how things go anyways once something gets hit.
Well, it's not just that. Like, obviously, Snoke was good. He was too good. That's very clear. But it's not just like the decks that were being ran weren't just being played because of Snoke. They were being played because of those supports that were basically some of the best diced cards you could put on the table. And Snoke just was one of a few ways that you could easily play those cards. Probably the most efficient way with his synergy with Watto, at least, to be able to put those cards onto the table most effectively. So he kind of lent himself to what the card pool was. Now that we've kind of taken Snoke and foreshadowing a little bit Watto out of the situation here, I think it's just a matter of what's the next way, and I think it's just Wat Tambor and some other tricks, basically.
Watto, pour one out.
Nah.
I gotta say, during that, me and Jeremy had a connection for a second when he was like, Watto's my favorite. I just, it hurt me to take him off the list. I was like, oh, my boy. My boy. Me and you feel the same way.
Yeah. Dude, there you go. Now if you go to Worlds, you can pour one out with him.
Yo, I think that's the last thing he'd ever want to do. I gotta be honest with you. Especially after you just heard my impression of him. That's probably really bad. And he's not gonna listen to me. That's the parts of me talking. It's okay. It's all good.
Yeah, I mean, Tommy, we talked about it last week. It was me, Scott, and Brian just talked about, like, Scott was clearly egging the conversation on, and he had a point. He just didn't want to make it until Brian and I said our opinions.
Is that all? Is that all you guys want to say? Is that all? Now I think I was like, oh.
Yeah, with the just with the supports. I mean, like you mentioned, something with Watt is still prevalent, and like I think the Entourage Scoundrel list is still very, very much a real thing. I think Fist, out of all the big three, it's going to be harder to play simply because it's the most costed, and to get like efficient, the round you play with it, you'll probably need like another resource. Like you'll need to be at 6 resources to do that. So it'll just be interesting to see how quickly decks can get up to 6 again without Snoke being a factor within that. So
I feel like
you don't necessarily, you don't have to have the 6th resource to make Fist useful. I mean, you can re-roll, and you also typically have plenty of focus sides in a deck like that. So, and I realize that you're probably going to have to use some of your character dice as resources, but I still think Fist is fine. I don't think it's a bad card by any means. I still think it's one of the best cards in the game, probably.
No, it's just out of those 3, it's probably the most in the back seat, but still far ahead of most other things.
Yeah,
definitely.
I definitely think that you'll still see Fist in the Phasma Sentinel build. I mean, there's no reason you wouldn't.
Oh yeah,
it had no problem playing it before.
Yeah, they didn't get touched in any way, so
nope.
Still very real. I mean, the game. I felt like Phasma Sentinel lives and dies by whether or not it gets out Mega Blasters or Fist turn 2 at the latest type thing. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I think it makes sense. Like, part of me is happy that they didn't touch anything yet beyond Snoke in terms of the supports. Like, if they took away like the draw or the search option on Entourage, I would have been fine, type thing. But I just want to see how it plays out without Snoke's aggressive ramp. I mean, like, it was just like too easy to be able to play like any of those big bombs. Like, at least the Phasma Sentinel kind of has to. They got to do logistics. They got to play tech team. They have to, it's not round one that they're necessarily dropping it unless they're just taking all resources type thing. So, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how it plays out. I don't have an event, so I don't really care. But, that's me. We'll see when primes come out.
Shots fired.
All right. So, any other thoughts on Snoke or Ayla for the Balance of the Force stuff?
Nah.
No.
In terms of Phasma, we'll get to that later. I think we got a Patreon question on that.
Sure do.
All right, so we'll go into the rules reference. So Force Storm, it should now read blue character only, special, exhaust this upgrade to place one resource on it, deal damage to a character equal to the number of resources on this upgrade, reroll this die instead of removing it. So the chain is still on. You can still keep chaining and doing this, but only once per round can you place a resource on it. So round 1, you play this, you can still chain it 4 to 5 times, but you're only doing 4 to 5 damage. Then round 2, the first time you resolve it, it'll go up to 2. So, is this still playable? Is Storm still? I mean, like, let's just start with a Palp deck. Is this still like a win condition for Palp?
Palp, yeah.
Yeah,
Palp, yeah.
absolutely.
I don't think you jam it in other blue decks anymore. Like, I don't think that you like look at it and go, all right, this is the card that I need to have in there. But for Palp, I'd say yeah.
Is Palp relevant now though?
Nah. Palp, especially since Watto got hit and Force Storm got hit, I'm kind of hesitant to play Palp Watto, even though that's my jam. I think that I don't know. I feel like the general reaction to the Force Storm being hit is like the sky is falling, the card is done, Palp's dead. But I kind of want to wait.
I don't get that. I don't think it's dead at all. I mean, it's still got amazing sides. I mean, the special still lets you like worst case scenario, the special is 1 damage. And then you get to reroll the die again. You've got enough focus sides in the deck. I forget the Watto version. You should probably still play the Wat Tambor version because the red package is still better right now, I think. And I think his dice are better.
I'm still adjusting.
Whatever. Just bury him. Bury him.
He's my profile picture.
Nothing's ever really gone except for Watto.
No one's ever really gone. But Watto!
The Force Storm's still good. I mean, it's still got amazing sides. It's still, a die that you're going to get to roll in twice every turn with Palp. Palp's still going to be a fun deck. He's still like going to be a gatekeeper-ish deck if people want to play it. I think it can work. It can be there. It can be a big tanky style deck because he can be, a beast and he can back the therapy. So like, you could have to deal a lot of damage if Snoke After Droid comes back and they can't burn him down before he gets 3-4 upgrades on him and then starts healing. I mean, that's problematic.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see, like, I don't know, just the huge thing, like, with Palp that kept him viable for me was, like, turn 1 Force Storm and then just being able to wipe a character off the board turn 1. And so, like, losing that aggression, and like you said, like, it still is a good die. Like, even if you play it turn 1 and you do the special 3 times, do 3 damage that way, and then do 3 ranged, and then power and action back in, and get 3 more range, something like that. So still get like 8 damage turn 1 is obviously like
damage
great.
Still kills a lot of characters when we're in this 3 wide meta, and if not, it means you're killing a character turn 2. Plus, you could have damage out of another die.
Yeah, I mean that's also assuming though that the opponent like isn't just gripping removal for the Force Storm.
For sure, they should be having a piece of removal round 1, but at the same time, what removal are they going to be using round 1? Probably not a Sinister Piece because they don't want to dump 2 cards. So maybe they got Hidden Motive or Forsaken. Forsaken can't hit every side on the Storm, and Hidden Motive. I mean, there's enough varied sides on there where that's definitely not a guarantee.
Yeah,
I mean, doubt. If you want to doubt the Force Storm, that's not that bad. Like, I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah, I mean, I think it also depends too, like, Palp kind of died off once everybody started jamming like 2 times vigilance in their decks because of all the focus, which still isn't a bad call. Even like people have basically viewed it like, oh, it stops the Snoke Watto Foss deck from potentially like round 1 focusing to the resource, me not being able to do anything about it, and then also it stopped the Palp Watt deck of the like infinite special chain round 1 type thing. But it seems it makes Palp less explosive, and I'm a little bit more hesitant to play Force Storm at like post, like even round 2. Like it feels bad. Like it feels like I'm so behind on the value that I could be getting if I'm playing it round 2. Like it seems fine. I'm not saying it's like the worst thing in the world. I'm sure Palp can still just do okay, but like it just doesn't. When we're talking like contentions for decks that are rising to the top now, like I don't think I would talk about Palp Watt. Definitely not Palp Watto. Definitely not Palp Watto.
The problem with the deck is that it's not running supports. That's that's the problem right now.
Yeah, I mean, think if Palp didn't have that power action of rolling a die back in, I think this wouldn't even be like a conversation. It would just be like remove the storm die and your turn's over.
Yeah. I mean, well, you look at what blue ability gives you the most bang for your buck on his power action, and it's storm, or I mean, I guess wave. It gives you some value, but paying for that special twice is tough to swallow too.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. All right. Any other thoughts on Force Storm and Palp?
No.
All right.
I'm more silently over here.
Yeah, Palp. I mean, Palp was definitely one of the more fun decks that's been made. I think it's just fun rolling 8 to 10 dice in, even if only you cared about 3 of them. But
yeah.
All right, yeah, it'll be interesting to see how he goes out. The next one is the Lat Gunship, which was clarified on the online rules reference forum thing that they have, simply because it caused an infinite loop, which obviously is not something they want in a game. So that's old news if you haven't heard about that. The next one is Snoke. Again, we talked about him. And Brian, do you have it up? Can you read this one? I'll let you read this one.
For Snoke?
No, the one after Snoke. The new red one for your boy.
You really gonna play me like that? All right, Watto.
read it in his voice.
The first ability should read this character's character dice cannot be removed by opponent's blue dice. My turns do not work on me. I'm a Targaryen.
Oh my gosh, that was so good, dude. That was really good.
Thank you. I
oh my god.
I practice in the mirror every night before bed.
Oh man, I would love to see your cosplay.
Oh my gosh.
Oh wow. I think at Worlds I might just have to make a blue suit for myself.
That'd be amazing. That could be our new Patreon tiers. Brian sends you like a happy birthday, Merry Christmas,
I do personal
4th of July
messages to horrify all your friends.
Yeah, the tier could be they could donate so that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Hey, if we're going with the theme, no one's ever really gone, and they need a Watto actor. Give me a call.
I'll do
Give me
it.
a call. Yeah.
I'll send that over to Jeremy just in case he needs it too.
Thanks. Sounds good.
So thoughts on the change to Watto being blue events are the only thing that he can't be affected by.
It's thematic and reeled in to be less obnoxious. Although I really think that he excelled with Snoke, but he did have use in other areas too. Definitely much worse now.
Yeah, I don't see why you run. He's not useless. I just won't run him. Does that make sense? Like I don't care anymore.
There's just way better options at 12.
Yeah, definitely. I would run
or even
Wat Tambor, or I don't know. I'm sad about it. I'm lost for words.
I mean, I don't even think they're necessarily competing, but certainly every deck that you're trying to ramp with Watto is certainly not as good anymore. Like if you think at the Elite Watto Watt Talzin deck, or like Elite Watto, like a 6-point guy, like those decks are certainly worse, despite still running like another good 9-point character, just because like the power action play of first round resolving his dice for 3 resources is not on the cards anymore, because only a few people before would hit a motive if you're showing the 1 and +2 on that 1. Now people will gladly do that, or not hit a motive, but like doubt or something like that can break up that chain of that +2 as well. So He's certainly worse, but he probably still has a home in those like 3-wide money making deck type things, but certainly a lot worse. I don't know. Him and Watt just go hand in hand to me. Like I just feel like I want to run them together sometimes. Money making and then the extra power action just seem good. I don't know if they're necessarily competing against each other in decks, but I think only time will tell. I think Watt though is just like Watt is so good with Entourage. Every deck I want to play with Watt and Entourage. I did that with the Watt Toby, and since I'm playing like a Yoda deck now too with Entourage, it just doesn't feel the same. I'm like, man, I want to power action and roll this Entourage die twice.
Yeah, I think that you. I'm sorry, I'm just so sad about it.
Is that a fork?
Oh no.
That was
What was it
sadness
last week?
leaving.
That
was
had
just-
some substance to it. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I just left my body and was just sadness. That's all. That's awkward. I'm gonna move on. Sorry. It wasn't a fart for the record. I'm just throwing it out there.
All right, down.
It's just my share.
Down.
Down. Please tell me you put that. I didn't look, but please tell me you put that Patreon question on there.
Oh, is it? I don't know.
bummer.
We can.
No, it's not down there.
We
We,
can
should
ask
put it
Adams.
down there. Now.
So overall, is Watto still playable?
Just not as good. He's playable. He's just not my first go-to anymore.
Yeah, I mean he could be in a deck. I just don't think it's
I've grown up.
I
From
don't know.
Watto.
it's definitely not as good as it was.
I am excited because now I have a reason to run Jabba.
Yeah, it definitely opens the door for Jabba for sure.
Before I was just like, all right, I'm gonna make this deck with Jabba. And why am I not running Watto for 1 point cheaper with? And he's
Yeah.
a better ramp.
Yeah, I mean it's because just gaining access to yellow, that's where you think of Jabba. But honestly, if you're looking for something in that point slot, it's just Wat Tambor. It just always is.
Yep, agreed.
Man, we love Wat Tambor here.
Dude, he's like going forward right now. I think he's the key. I think
I'm
if you're
just
not
excited
looking at him,
Watto.
I think you're wrong, man.
Just talking about Watto, and it's like, you have a Wat Tambor.
Well,
Not that I disagree.
well,
but I'm
yeah,
just
yeah.
saying.
But
I
there
mean,
was something you
can't
could
not compare them.
Yes, they're the
Just,
same
like,
points.
They're same points.
Right.
They both have multiple resource sides. It's just they're the same health total. Like they're just very similar, but you just get so much more from Wat Tambor. Like you just get infinitely more.
But I can't do Wat's imitation, so it's not as good for me. I don't know.
Now you got to do the Techno Union.
Amazing.
Horrible.
Remember when you thought he was actually a robot?
Dude, he looks like a robot. he looks like a droid. I don't know.
It's a suit.
He's an amphibian. I know now. I've done my extended research here.
By texting me.
Yes. Like I texted Jack. I was like, "Man, it bothers me. He's not a droid." And Jack was like, "Well, he's not." It's like, oh, I'll just Google that real quick.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, Watt, really good character. R.I.P. Watto. R.I.P. All right. The next one up is actually, so that's done on the erratas. Now this is technically rules clarification, which is super weird that this first one is in here, which is no answer. So they're saying it was always intended this way, and it just needs to be clarified rather than actually in errata to the card. So it says the last sentence of this event's ability is considered a then effect and should read, then if that opponent has no cards in hand, discard the top 3 cards of their deck. So this can now not be looped with like the resistance ring. So you can't do it to get rid of their last card. Well, you can do it to get rid of their last card and 3 more, but you can't then special, discard no cards from their hand and still get the 3 off the top of their deck. So it certainly lowers the potential of no answer, but I still think no answer is a really good option for any red mill deck. Like, it still seems like it's a good card, but certainly
sure.
not as broken as it was before. I would have tossed it out the window and just banned it type thing. Just get that
Definitely
out
not
of
getting
here.
cut from any decks.
No, I wouldn't see a reason to. It'll keep people honest too. You know what I mean? Like if somebody rolls poorly into something and they have 2 cards in their hand, and it's like, do I reroll or do I like grip these 2 cards? Because if I pitch one and they no answered me, like that's gonna be one of the worst possible situations. So still good, just not as broken. Think the Hero Mill still is good, like the Yoda,
Yeah,
Leia, or Leia 3-wide, whatever they are.
I think Hero Mill's always decent. At the very least, decent.
I think it's just going to depend. It's going to be good unless Snowcap Droid just becomes the deck to beat, because that is a tough matchup for them, and we'll have to see how that plays out with the slight change in how that deck maybe runs into things. But yeah, unless that just takes over the meta, because that can be an uphill battle with all the auto damage. Yeah, I think Mill's always going to be good. I don't. Whenever I try to build a deck, I think, do I have any game against Mill? Like, that's one of the first things that goes through my mind if I want it to be a competitive deck. And if you don't, then, just have some fun with it, but that you can't ever take that to an event, because Mill is a mainstay now. It's just got too many tools.
Can Millionaires pop its head back up? Do you think that could be a relevant Mill deck? The Elite Yoda, Single Die Cassian, Single Die Anakin.
I don't know. I feel like Leia is really good. I also
Especially
feel
with
like
Resistance Ring.
Yeah, you might come up with a different type of pairing. I feel like Leia's good. I feel like Lore Santeca is really good. I don't know. I feel like there's better lists right now, and plus you don't have Second Chance anymore. And I don't know.
Yeah, certainly something to look. I mean, like, going back pre-rotation trilogy, PAX Unplugged, I mean, it still felt pretty good. Brian, you played it as well. Like, that 3-wide, like, it's still... We didn't have Force Illusion, obviously, didn't have Second Chance. But also certain cards... Like, obviously, even then, the 3-wide lost to the 2-wide mill deck. The 2-wide just milled so much faster. And even then, they didn't have No Answer and Resistance Ring. So, like, with them getting that, the 3-wide, I think, was just dead on arrival of the Millionaires. Like, it was slow already, and then just adding those made it even worse. But having this to play around was... I don't know. I was just going to say, the only thing, like, you can play around it a little bit more now with the 3-wide into that 2-wide. You're still slower. You're still probably going to lose that matchup, but it's not as much of a blowout with that change. But, Brian, what were you going to say?
At PAX, my only roadblocks were Snowcap Droid. The indirect and just the tricks and tools they have, but like everything else felt fine. But especially in like a heavy support meta, if you can't find what you're looking for, or if I vandalize, or I mill your crown jewel out of your hand or deck, I mean, it's easy. It's hot knife through butter. I think it's fine still. It's definitely, like you said, not better than a 2-wide mill, but...
And to be fair, like, that was obviously a very different meta. Even if you just add, like, Fighting Pit to that meta, I think our lives are so much worse. Because, like, almost all the games we played I played, like, 3 Vaders, I think, on the Trilogy Day. And they were all super easy because Force Jump was a thing. And then even when we did New Jersey Regional, like, Vader was a breeze because Force Jump was the thing. But now he could just power action Fighting Pit, deal 4 to Yoda, and then...
Feels bad.
It's Yoda's in certainly a tough spot in this Fighting Pit world, and that deck is definitely very suspect to somebody like Vader rolling in the Fighting Pit. That Yoda, yes, new Yoda has a... I don't think you want to Fighting Pit him. He's still a little worse than Vader, but if he hits that 4 shield side, you're gonna cry.
Most certainly.
All right. So any other thoughts on No Answer or Mill?
Perfect.
Mill being as good as it is also suppresses Blue Hero. That's just a random thought.
Yeah.
Blue Hero is just in a really weird spot.
Yeah, Blue Hero's good at like tanking paladin style stuff, and it's just you just can't do that if Mill is out there. That's part of the problem with Blue Hero. They just don't have the damage output to overcome Mill.
Yep. Even pre-rotation, that was the case, and now you took away all their broken stuff, and they still can't. They're obviously not going to be able to hang. So, all right. And this last one was also a clarification on their forms before. The Uneti Force Tree, the last sentence of the support ability is considered a then effect and should read then you and that player each draw a card. So before you could just draw your whole deck or whatever. But that's clarified. All right. So that is all from the rules reference and the balance of the force and stuff. I think it really blows the gates open on this game. Excited to see where it goes. Selfishly, I'm hoping that Spark of Hope drops soon so I can play with new cards. But also, I think it'll be really interesting to see Gen Con on this format. I'd like to see that. It would be interesting to me. It would all be completely irrelevant pretty quick with Nova then, like 99% being Spark of Hope, I would assume. Being a major tournament right after that with a different format with a whole new set. But either way, this seems cool. I hope it gets explored and not just gone to the wayside. But only time will tell.
Where are we going to explore it at?
Oh, well, we won't. I'm saying Gen Con. Although, I guess we'll help Scott prep, right? He's going to Gen Con.
Yep.
And that's it. Joe bought tickets. And I think Eldest is going.
Yeah, Eldest, Joe, John Williams.
I mean, I don't think Joe's playing. Maybe John will. I think Joe just bought tickets to buy tickets. I don't know.
I think he's just going to get a promo and drop.
What a jerk.
Yeah.
I'll buy it from him.
What a guy.
With a handshake.
Miss Nizva.
Oh, this reminds me. We have a bet with them.
We have a bet?
We have a bet with them.
Oh, jeez.
So, all right. So before we get in the new segment, and I don't want to save it till the end because then I'll just forget. But so our buddy Joe Nismo was a local buddy. You know, it still is our buddy, but he doesn't play Destiny anymore. He's moved on to Transformers, and they do Wreck and Roll.
Dead to me.
He's dead to me. They do Wreck and Roll. Anybody that remembers the Chance Cube debacle last year at Worlds, Joe was on the receiving end of that. But anyways, so yeah, he's doing the Wreck and Roll with another local of ours, Brian, different Brian, not our Scuttlebutt.
Hello.
So they challenged us to see who would have a better release event for the next set. So theirs is dropping, I think, later this
June
month.
28th, right?
Something like that, yeah.
I think it was June 28th.
Yeah, and I'm assuming that. Well, I told him I was like, I mean, I don't think Spark Hope's coming until like late July, so we'll have to wait for that. So either way, we're gonna compare and see who has more people at the events, and the loser has to do a gameplay of the other person's game on their channel. So if we lose, we'll have to post a Transformers card game, learn to play something. I don't know. The exact details aren't worked out. But then if they lose, they have to do a Destiny gameplay
That's
on
so
their
much
channel.
easier for them.
Yeah, they both played
They
the
know
game.
how to play Destiny. Yeah, they know Destiny. You have to buy those huge, gigantic cards. I don't know.
I don't think Brian
Get
ever
outta
actually
here.
knew how to play Destiny. Hashtag shots fired.
Oh, shots fired.
Neither did Joe. But
Wow, shots fired. Big man on campus over here.
it's okay. It's just them. It's nobody relevant.
Oh my God. Someone stop this
Pouring
man.
it on. Just pouring it.
Someone stop this man. He's a savage.
It's just Wreck and Roll. It's fine.
I think he's pretty positive that they're never going to listen to this.
Nope. Nope. Actually, Joe
I'm on
listens
it, so
when
Joe's
Brian's
gonna
on.
listen.
That's what he said. All right. So yeah. So be on the lookout for whenever Spark of Hope releases, and we'll see who has more. So if you are even in the New Jersey area, I encourage you to come to our release event.
Please.
All right. So we'll move on to FFG.
FF tree.
FF Unity Forestry. Had a stream. Jeremy played Aaron in one of the biggest snooze fests that you could probably see on stream.
I'd like to point out that I am the hipster of Destiny. I've been playing tier decks long before FFG did them on their stream, on our stream.
At least yours had dice too, you know.
Yeah, really.
Honestly,
if it was a set later, I can't be too confident that I wouldn't have
something
just
like that.
Diceless characters.
So yeah, it was the new Yoda partnered with Ahsoka versus Hoth Trooper, Chief Chirpa, Elite Wicket, and then they got to bring a spare Ewok due to Chief Chirpa's ability.
If that isn't the meta next set, I don't know what is.
And he started out hot, and he did like 5 damage, and then he didn't do any damage for the rest of the game.
Oh my goodness!
Yoda was sitting on 6 shields like all game, and we'll get to his ability in a little bit. If you guys have the album up, I'm just gonna like go through however they appeared. The first one I have is Force Connection.
Spoiler alert: the game went to time.
It should have went to time. They played it out. But yeah, it was awesome. Obviously, props they did the stream.
Yeah,
But,
we're grateful for all
yeah.
the spoilers.
Yeah, even through all the little hiccups they had, it's nice. It was good. Good work, guys.
Yeah,
Gave it some insight into the RRG stuff. So
yeah, they
Every time
talked
I
a
get
little
to
bit.
hear
about that.
Jeremy, it's a good time.
I love
Got the
Jeremy.
voice of an angel.
So the artwork on Force Connection is basically me and Brian every time we sing our song together.
Tom, you want to read it then?
Hi, Dad.
Sure, I got this. It's Force Connection. It's a blue, neutral event, uncommon, one resource. It's a support, not an event. I apologize. It's action. Exhaust this support and spot 2 blue characters to turn one of their character dice to a side showing the same symbol as one of the other character's character dice.
Obviously, Ray Kylo, like
Yep.
themed,
Yeah.
and I don't know. So I feel maybe since you actually, I don't know. I don't really like this.
You know where I can put this, guys? Asajj Savage.
There
Well,
you go.
I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I mean, there's always been cards in the game that are, pay 1, turn a die to whatever, use the Force or something like Clash or whatever. And this is something that, you can get multiple uses out of. So, I mean, it's not that bad. The problem is that the game lasts, 3 rounds right now. So
Yep.
if you don't play this round 1, you really aren't going to get enough bang for your buck.
And do you even want to play this round 1? You know what I mean?
No,
like especially
you don't
like
want to play this round 1.
spot 2 blue characters. You're already middle, or like 3 smalls. You're probably not making that much money type thing, and you'd rather play an upgrade or support or whatever you end up doing. Like even just looking at Ray Kylo, I'd rather play that new lightsaber that got spoiled before I play something like this. So
The only card that comes to mind that would love this card is what's that? What's Luminar's Padawan's
Barriss.
name? I can't remember. Barriss-Offee.
Yeah.
Sophie.
In
Yeah.
a 3-wide mono blue deck, you would just be like, oh, I'll turn whatever to melee. Boom, turn Barriss-Offee as well. So now every time you activate this, you're turning 2 dice, which would make this viable, in my opinion.
and then you activate Anakin and turn K2SO to damage sides. Right? Perfect.
Where's your 2 blue characters?
I don't know. I was just saying things.
Or is it the 2, as people are speculating, younglings who don't
Ooh,
have
yeah.
dice? So it
Could
doesn't
be.
work.
Could be.
What is happening?
America. All right, we'll go on the next card.
What's the next card?
So this is like a half reprint, but changed to the exact wording. So it's 0 cost. It's Aftermath. It's a support. After character is defeated, you may exhaust this to gain 1 resource. So it's still a reprint. It's kind of like Crime Lord, where they changed the wording on a little bit, but they would clarify that in the rules reference for even like the old one to be updated. So I'm sure if you even bust out your old Aftermath cards, they'll still have, those will be changed to this wording. So Aftermath wasn't overly relevant, except in Tommy's Gen Con deck.
That was one of my favorite cards. I loved Aftermath.
It was good, and certainly like certain things where a character dies and you're getting like 2 resources, and you could just like get absurd
it was
amounts.
in Rainbow Nines.
Was it in Rainbow? I don't even remember.
Yeah.
It was good. It was good in its time, like around that, because it was Spirit, wasn't it?
Yep.
When that came out, and it was good for that, but I think it just kind of moved off to the wayside. I mean, the meta also for like moved into like the World's time was a lot of middle stuff, so like Aftermath wasn't relevant in that time. So, and it just kind of got pushed away, and now there's just better resource stuff. But it'll be interesting to see if it comes back. But it's also, I mean, a 0 for a resource. I don't know. Depends on the deck. Seems fine.
I'm pretty sure it was
But I
in
like
the Seven Sister OTK deck too.
Maybe. I don't remember the 30. Probably. I mean, they're trying to just blow somebody off the board and get a
Yeah.
resource.
And then they're going to kill their own stuff too. So
Yeah. I mean, I still think it operates like how you would want it. Like a lot of times I think it would be like the Seven Sister, what you mainly wanted was to kill somebody, get the resource from that, and then do like a leadership reset play. And then if you kill somebody else and get another resource, that's just kind of like the gravy on top. Where, like I think for 0, getting resource 1 time, I still think it's a pretty good card. It's just a matter of like trying to find a home where you can snipe characters and do something immediately with that resource.
The gravy on top.
The gravy.
Wow.
I think you were looking for whipped cream there, Jack.
I don't
would
like
say
whipped cream.
icing. Oh God,
I'll take icing.
I like icing.
The syrup,
I'm a cake guy.
the water on top,
The wooder.
the batteries. All right, Brian, you
Rolling
want to take this
logs.
next one?
Rolling logs. So we're seeing a new downgrade. This is a trap. So it's a trap. So
Nope, wrong. Nope.
no, nothing. No. Downgrade trap. After attached character is activated, you may discard this downgrade to reroll any number of its character and upgrade dice. It's 0 cost. It's a hero card, by the way. Yellow hero.
I don't even know. Yeah, you go back. Did we say Force Connection was blue neutral too as well? And that's an uncommon.
Yes,
I don't remember
I
if we did. Good job, dude. I'm proud of you.
Force connections blue neutral. Aftermath is red neutral. And this is yellow hero, 0 cost. Clearly, Ewoks.
Yeah, I mean, 0, sure. I mean, we'll see with Wicket, like the
I love it.
synergy. I think it's
I think it's
solid.
good. For 0, I think it's good. It's easily like one of the best downgrades I've seen so far.
Yep. I mean,
What about shock collar.
it's. Yeah. Besides shot collar, Brian.
Shock
That
collar
goes
is
without
great,
saying.
Yeah, it's a league of its own, Brian.
That's like a Flockton statement right there. If
What's
someone rolls on your dice? Is that a disqualification?
Yes, immediate DQ. What's interesting to me though with this too is that, like, you know, it's in form of suppressifier, like where you get to do it and then still take your action.
Yeah,
You know
can
what I mean?
still mitigate after this.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, you know, you could. Well, I mean, all the time we talk about like soft mitigation like this or sound the alarm is pretty bad because you could do that and then they just re-roll into damage still, and then it's their action. But this, you know, has that extra twist of you can re-roll their valuable dice and then remove anything like after that. So if you re-roll 4 dice and only 2 hit the valuable sides, the other 2 are kind of worthless. Instead of all 4, you can now remove 1. So you really got to, you know, hard mitigate 1 and soft mitigate 2, all in your one action. So if that makes sense.
Makes
Yeah, I'm a
perfect
fan.
sense.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, I like it. And like we talked about, we'll see Wicket in a little bit, and just being able to recycle traps seems pretty valuable.
The only downside to this, in my opinion, is that you just don't care that much about character and upgrade dice at the moment.
Yeah.
Nope.
Bad
But
times.
did you know Ewoks can take down even large enemies through the clever use of gravity and lumber?
Beautiful flavor text. Love it.
All right, 2 cost. Next card, support the tribe, is a gray hero common. It's an event. Spot any number of characters that share a subtype to heal that much damage from a character. Tommy, can you read that flavor text? Perfect. Your Ewokian is flawless.
Thank you.
So yeah, I mean the Ewoks on the card, Ewok flavor text. It's meant for that type thing. Spending
I think
2
this only goes in Claudite decks, really. Only Claudites.
shares. Sure.
Really
I mean,
threw it out
like,
there. I was just kidding.
I was
Oh
just
my
like, what
God.
the? Well, then my
Sorry.
mind started racing. I was like, all right, well, what? Can I get to 3 characters with this? Like, if you can get to 3 characters, like, that all share the same subtype, that could be all right. Paying 2 to
Stick with the
heal
Ewoks. We're good.
from... never mind, it's a character. For a second, I was thinking it would be healed from all of them, but yeah. Paying 2 to heal 3. Just run Mend, so you don't have to spot anything. Right? It's Mend spot red? I don't even remember. Who plays that card?
Not I.
Shane.
Heal 3 damage from a
Team
character.
Cassie.
Yeah. So there's no spot
Yes.
on that. But it's like, I don't know. This is hero already, I'm guessing. You probably have red. Red's pretty decent now. You know, you got field medic, first aid, mend. I'd run all of that before I would run support the tribe.
Yeah,
So.
I don't really. I think this is too situational.
Yeah.
Or too specific. I mean,
Yeah. I mean, there's bound to be those cards. It's common. It's whatever. So,
and 2 costs is just too much.
yeah. All right, Tommy. You got this next one.
Yoda's lightsaber. It's legendary, 1 cost upgrade, unique. Die sides are 1 melee, +1 melee, 1 shield, 1 resource, special. There are no blanks on this die. It has the text upgrade weapon. After you play this upgrade on Yoda, you may give him 1 shield. The special side reads, Deal 1 unblockable damage to a character or 2 unblockable damage instead if you remove 1 shield from attached character.
I like
It's
it.
good. Yeah.
One cost.
Anything that's 1 is it's 1 cost. It's got 4 damage sides. Even if they're 1 damage, potentially 2, it's wonderful. It belongs on Qui-Gon Jinn though.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely agree with that. It's interesting, like how they took away the 0 cost stuff, but now they're making like, I mean, how many 1 cost like upgrades are like no blanks? You got the Van Braces, you got the ID10. Now you have this. Like none of them are overly powerful or anything. They've all got like really small sides, but it's just interesting that we have been getting like a few more 1 costs that don't have any blanks.
I like that. I would rather see just 1 cost, like good 1 cost upgrades rather than 0 cost upgrades. And this is coming from the guy that loves Tarkin. So
yeah, and I think it's interesting too. Something in like, I wonder if there's a build to last deck that Blue Hero can get to. This is obviously great for that. So 1 cost, get the money back, play a 2-drop.
Love it.
Yeah, seems good. Seems, little things like this I think will help prop Blue Hero up. Like even if you're not running Yoda, this still seems just a good turn 1 to play this, and then you could even just drop removal because
it's a legendary that if you pull this, you're not going to be upset. It's just solid. Even though Blue Hero isn't the best, faction color, whatever it is right now, it's still just a solid card. Worst case scenario.
Dude, BB-8 has no blanks too. Look at that. Just thought of that. That's what I'm here for. That's what I'm here for. All right, any other thoughts on the lightsaber? If not, Brian, you can take the next one.
No, I'm good. I like it a lot. Can't wait to see.
Side note, I like the art on Yoda's lightsaber much more than the Yoda art.
Oh yeah, Yoda's gross. I think that he and who was it? Ezra Bridger, worst of this rotation. Worst art.
Really? The Yoda character artwork you think is that bad?
I just think he looks more like what's the other one? The other
Yaddle?
Yaddle. He looks more like Yaddle in this card to me. I don't know.
I think you're way overstating how bad. I don't think it's bad. I think it's fine. It's just a different scene that's being depicted.
My disappointment, or my confusion, I think mostly, and disappointment, I guess. Like, he has melee sides, but then this is the mystical mentor. Like, I don't know. Part of me would think if they dropped his lightsaber.
Let's be clear. My man has been alive for 900 years, okay?
Yep.
You don't know at what point in his life. He could be 700 years old here. So y'all don't know. You don't know him. You don't live him, okay?
Excuse me?
Walk in his shoes, okay? His tiny little, smelly shoes.
Do you really think he hit R2 that hard with the stick to warrant a 3 melee side?
Does he wear shoes?
R2's got 8 life, so he could have survived a 3 melee.
True. All right, Brian, read the card.
Yoda, 12 health, Blue Hero, character Jedi leader, 1 melee, 3 melee, 2 focus, 1 shield, 4 shields for 1 resource, and 1 resource, no blanks. The text reads, this character has a +3 shield limit. This character's shields can be used to block damage dealt to apprentice characters. And the flavor text says, sense the force around you. Not even going to try to do that one. Sense the force around you. I like this guy.
And he's a rare.
I think that he's going to get, he's a rare. 14/18, by the way. I think the point cost does him a little disservice, but I still like him.
Yeah. I mean, he doesn't overly excite me. Yeah, I mean, that's stuff like, I mean, if you watch the stream and made your opinion from the stream, you think this guy was insane.
Oh, yeah. No, he's going to get swept under the rug the next time something big gets announced. But I think for now, like, he's neat. He's definitely neat. That 4 shield side is something.
Yeah,
usable for him, but still.
It's more like, what will we see, like, apprentice-wise? I mean, right now, like, you got Ahsoka, like, at 12, at 11. Yeah, you got Barriss as well. Dude, you know Darth Vader from Spirit? He's an apprentice.
Conflicted apprentice.
I'm trying to. Is that really? I mean, the Luke, the unlikely hero one is an apprentice,
Is,
but like it's not elite.
Anakin from the draft kit. Is he an apprentice?
Anakin, yeah, Anakin Skywalker. Yep,
Is he?
yeah, he's character apprentice. Also, both of the current Rays. So Ray finding the ways from the 2-player is an apprentice, and also the new Ray. But like again, like Brian talked about, it's just like the point thing. Like at 18, you're really only getting 4 dice with Barriss or Ahsoka or Anakin if you're running a -1 plot like Solidarity or Bitter Rivalry. Like the Rays interest me, but it's just I don't know. The points don't add up in a way that I necessarily care about. But I could be wrong in that sense. But it was certainly interesting that the guy did no damage to Yoda or Ahsoka starting like round 2.
I mean,
again,
look at
his deck was awful. Yeah,
no, I mean,
I
was
like
his
the
deck
Jedi
ended up,
leader.
Like 3 die? Did he have 3 die that deck?
Well, yeah, it was Elite Wicket, Single Die Chirpa, 2 Hoth, and then you got the Ewok from Chirpa. I mean, I think having like a Jedi leader is relevant. Like Jeremy used Salt Flats, which I think is really good to get to the the 3 melee or even the 2 focus or 4 shield, like whatever you need in that situation. And then obviously no blanks is obviously a great thing to have. Just it'll be interesting to see how much that apprentice ends up mattering. Like or how much
have to compliment him.
That's what I mean. Like if there's a good apprentice. It'll be fun rolling out Ahsoka with knighthood, so she's a Jedi and an apprentice. Boom.
Yeah.
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 Tommy, what are your thoughts on Yoda? Do you think he'll stick around?
I applaud his how he introduces like some really interesting new mechanics in that like his shield limit is increased and you can use his shields to block. You're expanding on the tribal thing with the apprentice stuff. I think his dice are decent. There's just a couple sides on there that are never going to feel good to resolve. He's got a good life total. He's just a different kind of big. Again, he just kind of falls into the same problem that all blue hero does for me, and it's except for Ayla. I think Ayla's the one that doesn't, and it's just that you don't do enough damage where he turtles, and that's fine until Mill exists. It's just not. He can't outlast Mill because he just runs out of cards because the shields do nothing. And I know you can Ataru strike for 9. That's a pipe dream. It's not going to happen. Even in a Mill matchup, the chances of you Ataru striking for 9 is slim because they're going to be ripping cards out of your hand like nobody's business, and your deck for that matter. I don't know. I'm just not. I think he's really cool, really thematic. I think the artwork is fine.
I came in on real hard.
I got nothing else.
Cool.
I'll run him like once or twice, but then I'll probably like put him away and forget about him, and still opt to run the other Yoda.
Even part of me is just like, if I want to run blue next set, I'm just gonna bust out Rey Kylo.
I've never been a fan of bigs though, so it's hard for me to say. Not for me.
Cool.
I thought for a second you meant Biggs Darklater, and I was like, wait,
yep, that's relevant.
where?
Yes, we're going there.
Like, Biggs? What about Biggs? Did I miss that?
Speaking of Red
I don't like
Hero,
him.
the next card is a Hoth Trooper. So he's a character trooper, 5 points, 5 health, Red Hero, uncommon, and his thing says, after you activate this character, you may deal 1 damage to a ready character, and this is another diceless character we have here.
His artwork it's so bad. It's so it's terrible. I'm just kidding.
I'm detecting some sarcasm.
I don't know how you run like more than one of these.
Ask Aaron.
Yeah, dude. All right, squad tactics. There you go.
Yeah, that's
Do
2
4
damage
damage
right
and then your turn's over. No, dude. You're running a whole team.
Oh, you meant ruin your potential and used more than 2 or 1.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Plo Koon?
Nah.
Activate and
Yeah.
do like 4. And then your turn's over because then they activate.
Yeah.
At that point, you just don't activate them.
Oh, yeah.
Upgrades.
Yeah, I mean,
Just clean.
he's fine in like the sense of 5-point access to a different color type thing, and I think that's all he'll ever be.
Yeah,
and I think that's all Diceless. At least that's what it seems like some of these Diceless characters are going to be. I mean, Ewoks you can't even do without a unique character, and then the other ones we'll get to. What other ones have been spoiled? Just this one.
So like we'll see if there's any expansion on the trooper subtyping, because I feel like the Ewoks have, you know, the trap theme and things like that. So they're obviously expanding on things like that. And not to jump ahead, but there's also some more spoilers with some witches.
Yeah.
And that seems to be like its own more of like its own encased tribal theme. And if that's the direction they're going to go with these characters, these Diceless characters, I think that's good for the game.
R.I.P. The Lat even more when they introduced Diceless troopers. But all right, Tommy, you want to read this next one?
Sure. 1 cost, red event, hero, common. Our situation is desperate. The text reads, spot any number of characters that have 3 or less remaining health to remove that many dice.
Yeah. I like it. Just the situation seems like
You can tell the
Hear me
long
out.
silence.
You're running 6 echo-based troopers.
and then they just kill them one by one, so you can never get this all.
And then your opponent resolves a hover tank die.
Wow. And then they
And then
just
you loop this with resistance ring.
Ooh.
How's this for hot takes for you?
Ooh. Yeah. Are you gonna give us one?
Oh no, I don't
I
have.
think he was referencing the Discord.
No, I
Here,
have.
I got you. It's okay. Yeah, it's okay.
That's my lukewarm take. It's, you know, it looks fine. It's okay. All right.
Golden Dice, we're full of uninformed opinions. Uninformed takes, not hot takes. Yeah. Doesn't seem
Car feels
really-
bad.
Yeah. Brian, you want to take this next one? This seems like right up your alley.
Caretaker Village. It's a unique 2 cost blue hero support location. Uncommon. After an opponent's effect removes one of your apprentice or Jedi dice, you may exhaust the support to roll that die into your pool.
Yeah,
Is
seems
it worth 2
Yeah.
though?
Yeah. Well, I mean, the issue is like I think it's fine. I mean, I think you saw like with Resilient, like that was relevant with Palpatine. But in just like Tommy was saying earlier, these games go to 3 rounds. When is this ever going to be relevant?
Not just that, but what die do you have on any Jedi or apprentice that's so valuable that you want to pay 2 resources to protect it?
I care about my +2 melee Ahsoka die immensely.
I mean, I think this goes with like a big, you know, like I don't know what Big Blue has like.
You can pick any big you want, Jack, in Hero Blue, and I still don't think that it's worth 2 resources. I don't even think Mace Windu from the first one, even if his points were reduced, would be worth this.
I think I'd be slightly miffed if you took away like my, for example, like my Kit Fisto die. Maybe.
Obi-Wan.
My point is, wouldn't you rather just spend 2 resources to put an upgrade on Kit Fisto?
No.
But
I hate upgrades. I'm
As
going
I was-
purely diceless,
as I was gonna say,
and I'll
like,
still play this support.
I'll just take the hit. You know, like it doesn't.
Yeah.
It's
I
not
mean,
worth me playing a Caretaker Village.
It's stuff like this is relevant if it gets on the board early, but it's never going to because there's things that you would rather be doing early. Like Tommy said.
The time you play this early is when you realize that you made a mistake for having this in your deck and that you should be running more upgrades and or supports.
Yeah, and you only pulled this.
Yeah, you pulled no upgrades and supports, and you're like, why isn't this an upgrade?
Yep.
I would much rather go back and play a Yoda's lightsaber and a 1-cost mitigation. Easy.
When
I mean,
you
in a perfect world, but still.
when you draw your hand and it's 2 shot colors and a Caretaker Village, you're just like, wow.
I
What
win the
is
game right there. It's
life?
easy.
Yeah, I mean, like on paper, to me, I know Tommy, you said you don't value, but like that, like if I could get 3 more rolls out of like the new Obi-Wan, like I think that would be valuable. But again, that means playing at round 1, and as you said, you're not playing an upgrade, so it all feels super bad, all around.
So I think that the problem with these type of cards, I'm gonna go a little game theory on you. Is,
Yep. That's what
so,
we
like,
pay
our
the big
cost-
bucks.
Yeah, right. Our in Destiny, I'm gonna say our for whatever reason, our cost like curve or range is relatively small. Okay, so you range from like 0 to 6 would be the cost curve. Now, if you could say if we blew that up and made it 12, and this was a 2 cost thing when the most expensive cards were 12, like the Falcon, the new Falcon was 12, then this was a 2 cost, then that would effectively be a 1 cost. So you would make it like a 3, like a 1.5 in our current economy terms. Then
Is
maybe you
Scott
could
on the
do
show?
that. So what you need to do is you need to add other type of stipulations to a card like this to equate that half resource value. So like you make it a hard 1 resource cost, but then you add an effect like you roll a die back into your pool, but then your opponent can immediately turn it to whatever side they want. So then it's like almost soft mitigated again. You know what I mean? Like that way it's not so good, but not horrendous and unplayable. I think that there's just like cards get printed like this because our cost curve is so tight right now. And that's okay because no one wants to have, a stack of 12 tokens on the board every turn. But that's why we get cards like this.
I want to take 12 tokens and put them on my opponent's characters.
I wanna take 12 tokens and reveal them in my hand with blood and blood.
Dude, then you could play a shot collar for free.
Yeah. See, you guys now. You
Amendments.
guys are thinking like a real champion over here.
All right, on to the next one. We got Wicket, who's a crafty scout. He is 8 for single die, 10 for elite. He has 7 health. He is hero yellow, and he is a rare. He's a character Ewok scavenger. Still completely irrelevant from what I understand. He's got a 1 melee, 2 indirect, 1 disrupt, 1 shield, 1 resource blank. And after you activate this character, you may play a trap from your hand or discard pile, paying its cost. And it's your little jittery thing, aren't you? Quoted from Leia Organa.
Look at those cold, lifeless eyes. This thing has the eyes of a great white shark. The artwork like accentuates just how oh man, that thing would put you on a spit and roast you alive. Oh man, you'd be barbecue. Oh.
He's gonna roll you.
Ewok.
some
Back to
How is that a
Chief
hero
Sherpa's
card?
Hut. I love this art. I think that all the Ewok art have been spot on. I'm just gonna say it.
What about Yoda?
No. He,
Yeah, the
he
artwork
ugly,
is
he
nice.
trash.
I like this
He
artwork.
has no shoes.
I do. I like Wicket though. He seems all right.
I don't like his health total. Other than
Yep.
that, I love him.
Yep.
If he
If
had
he was
1
like-
more health, he'd be
Yeah,
like amazing.
Yeah. I mean, as you've seen with these past few sets, like if you're not, I mean, unless you're like a big character bringing crazy abilities with you, generally these low cost characters you want like equal health to their single die type thing. And so when when their health gets below that and their points increase is when it kind of seems less valuable. So like him paying 8 points for 7 health is a little worrisome, but I understand with the graveyard recursion. It's interesting that they're bringing that back though. Like I thought after Sabine they would have just not even bothered with that. Granted, it's very different. That was upgrades. This is traps. It's not ambush activation type things, but
I like the 2 traps we've seen. So
did we see 3 or just 2?
I've only
So
noticed
rolling
2.
logs. There's one later, I think. There's a nets or something like that.
There's the net, and then I thought there was one with like a speeder
There's
bike.
Ensnare.
Yeah, dude, get wrecked,
That's
Tommy. You're not even good at this game.
Dude, I'm terrible. I'm the worst.
But yeah, so Wicket seems fine. Love the eyes, and I like the trap recursion. I think is relevant. Like, I mean, like we talked about, like being able to play that one earlier for free every time. Like that's pretty good.
Yeah, I think that once we get into downgrades, as far as we've got traps, we've got bounties, we've got injuries, we've got curses coming up. It's starting to get a little more complex, and whatever comes out next, it might make downgrades see a lot more play.
Yep.
I'm hopeful for it. I think it's following the same, track as Plots did when we first saw Plots and Legacies. And then, the first set was very straightforward. You get a resource, you get a shield, you draw a card. And then the following set, we got things like long-term plan and built to last and more complex, more, game-breaking style stuff. They got a little more creative, a little more, I think they introduce things and they allow you to learn them and then they expand upon them. It's kind of part of their philosophy at FFG.
All right, Tommy, you want to take this next one?
Sure. I just can't stop seeing those cold, lifeless eyes. It's this is a 2-cost blue upgrade. It's a hero card. It's a rare. It's titled Jedi Lightsaber. Is this the savior that blue hero needs? We'll see. 1 melee
Does it
plus
say that
2
on the
melee.
card?
Yeah, that's on there. 1 melee plus 2 melee, 1 shield, 1 resource, and a blank upgrade weapon. After you play this upgrade, you may give attached character 1 shield or 2 shields instead if this upgrade is on a Jedi.
Cool.
It's good. It's just good.
Neat. I like it.
Again, you got the theme of shields, which isn't, as you know, I think that it just doesn't help you against mill, like I've been preaching the entire podcast. But if you're getting shields and a die that has damage sides, that's never a bad thing. Again, Qui-Gon Jinn.
Yeah, for two resources though, I wanted to put out a little more damage. I know I get the whole idea is that we're going with shields this set, but like
On Qui-Gon Jinn, it does.
Right, but 2 resources for 2 damage sides on a lightsaber. Meh.
I mean, yeah.
It's fine. It's I just think it could be better. That's all.
I mean, I'm like kind of in that same boat. Like outside of the Qui-Gon Jinn synergy, like this just seems like okay. I mean, obviously paying 2 to get 2 shields and then have an upgrade die, which is pretty decent. But this, like, I feel like I'm still spoiled from Blue Hero, right? Like it's a 2-drop. I'm like, oh, this isn't Ancient or oh, this isn't Shoto. But in comparison to the other 2-drops we currently have, this is definitely a step up in going in the right direction for what Blue Hero would need to be competitive. And then obviously it has synergy with Rey.
I plop it down and I overwrite it. Like it's a nice stepping stone. It's fine, but it's not going to get you too far. The shields are nice.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I don't think you should be. I don't think any 2-drop should really just control a game type thing.
True.
So I like it. I think it's solid. And it's definitely, like I said, in a step in the right direction for Blue Hero. Brian, you want to take this next one?
Man, if you want to talk about good art, this is it. I love this art too. I think like I said, the Ewok arts, all these cards hit it out of the park. It's Han Solo and a net.
This was Brian when he heard that Wada was getting hit.
Han looks like the kid that just picked his head up out of the toilet after getting a swirly.
Relatable. Anyway, net trap.
Flockton?
1 cost. Yellow hero. Downgrade trap. After attached character is activated, you may discard this downgrade to remove one of its character or upgrade dice showing damage. I like it. It's a common, by the way. Sorry, I didn't say that. I like it. I like it a lot. I think like cards like this make Wicket awesome.
Yeah, I mean, certainly like playing something like this and then being able to recur it with Wicket is interesting. Now you would need to go first, obviously, to get that out there, but as Tommy mentioned too earlier, I think with the first one, it was like, do we really care about re-rolling any character upgrade dice? This goes for the same thing.
I mean, Vader. That's it. Hopefully, if Vader is the meta, this is a great card. If Vader is not the meta, it's not a great card. It's just an okay card. I still think it's good. I still think it's a step in the right direction for downgrades, but it's not incredible.
I've absolutely loved the downgrades in this set compared to like I saw downgrades from last set, and I'm like, all right.
Well, other than Shock Collar, right?
Well, that goes without saying. You stack 2 every deck. No worries.
Well, no. You go double down.
Double down 3 Shock Collars. Oh, let this meme die. Kill it if you have to.
It will never.
God.
Never ever die.
Nothing's ever really gone.
Nothing's ever really gone. All right. We'll move on to the next one. So is how do you say this? Neiman? Neiman Mastery?
Yaman Mastery.
Yeah, sure. Let's roll with that. 2 cost. Upgrade ability form. It is a blue neutral. It is legendary. Its dice sides are 2 melee, 1 focus, 1 shield, 1 resource, special. Blue character only. Limit 1 form per character. It's relevant, obviously, with Soresu Mastery. And it says, after you play this upgrade, turn a character or upgrade die to any side. And the special is turn a character die and upgrade die to the side of your choice.
I love this card.
Yeah, I mean, it's... we talked about Palp earlier. I mean, him getting like a 2-drop relevant ability is obviously something that's good for him. And just the potential like special chaining with this that can go on seems really good. And it can really just kind of push... Like, you could be aggressive with it. Or you can just play defensive with it. Like, you have that flexibility type thing. So, I like it.
Definitely.
Tommy, why does it suck? Explain it.
I like this one. Yeah, it doesn't interact with
supports.
support. No, that's a good thing. We don't want everything to rely on supports. I like it. I think it's good. I like that it's a mastery at 2 cost.
And they did mention on the stream, side note, they said it wasn't normal for a mastery to cost 2. So, okay. I mean, we've only had one, obviously, with Soresu that costed 3. So this one costs 2. So maybe future sets we can expect more 3-cost masteries.
3 costs, yeah.
And maybe a 2, going back to the 2-cost training. And I don't think we saw the training for this. I think we just saw the mastery. Assuming there is a training. I really don't know.
I just... Sorry. The only thing that I'm not huge on is that it's a legendary, because while I think it's fine, it's not a legendary I would want in one of my 6 from a box.
Yeah, this is one I'd rather like buy a single of.
I don't think it's going to have a high value. I don't think it doesn't feel very legendary.
I'll take anything over Crime Lord, dude. Literally after last set, oh my god. You don't even know.
I know. I mean, I got a Crime Lord.
None.
It's 6 boxes. The Mad Lad.
A whole case, and I dodged all the Crime Lords.
Man, you are so due for some really horrendous.
This set is having me so nervous because Karma's gonna come and get me, and I'm gonna get the worst one, whatever it might be.
Hey, if this is the set to do it, though, I mean,
yeah,
that's fine.
That's fine.
Nothing seems like, I don't know. There doesn't seem like any like chase legendary type stuff yet.
No,
I need to look over it again, but I mean, there looks like decent ones. Like I think Django was legendary. Like I want a C3PO and stuff like that, but like nothing crazy.
I don't see myself using most of this. Not that I don't see myself using it. It's just not that I'm not pining. Usually I'm pining, but I'm not pining. I'll take new cards, but I'm not like desperate.
We've only seen 42, but yeah, nothing. This seems like a set where you could cut back a box or 2 and save some money and be okay.
This is like my Empire War, where I was like, eh.
And then you were chasing X8s.
Yeah, right. Well, I was chasing, and then I bought Throns too.
Yeah, Thrawn. Bought them right before the Ankara errata. I just read, right? Tom, you want to take this next one?
There was more?
There's 15. It's a lot. There's a lot of spoilers this week.
Jeez.
And then we haven't even gotten to the stuff that came out today.
Oh, there it is.
There's 5 left, including this one.
It's the Glider Attack. It's a 0-cost yellow event hero. Uncommon. Exhaust one of your Ewok characters to deal 3 indirect damage to an opponent. That opponent may spend up to 3 resources to block that much damage.
Sure. Why not?
I think it's fine. Let's I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Yeah, you're playing Ewok, you put this in the deck.
Yeah, I think if you're running Ewoks, this goes in.
Yeah,
uncommon?
Yeah.
Mm.
This will be the one I get 10 of.
Well, if you're playing Ewoks, it's fine.
All my Ewok decks. Yeah, I mean, you're basically turning that Ewok ability and multiplying it by 3. You know, with a card.
I mean, the caveat is they can pay you, but or not you, but
They
can
just
pay
spend
to-
it.
And you don't see any of that money.
I mean, sure, but I mean, depending on situation, like if this is a round 1 thing, they're taking 3 damage. I don't think anybody's going to really pay to block 1 indirect, and it's also just bad value for them.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they can pay if they want, but seems all right. Brian, you would take this next one?
Ensnare, a yellow hero downgrade trap, 1 cost, uncommon. After attached character is activated, you may discard this downgrade to deal damage to it equal to the number of its character and upgrade dice showing damage. Nice. I like it. Again, something I'll run with Wicket.
Until you play a support deck.
Wait, that's
Right.
Tommy's line.
Oh. I mean, but that seems fine. Is it after this character's activated, you may discard. So you can hold on to it to the following rounds, like if they only roll out and do 1 damage.
Wait
So,
till they put a massive upgrade on it. You know, I would bide my time with that.
well, equal to the number of its characters. So, I mean, they could put 1 massive upgrade, roll out, and just hit that 1 massive upgrade, and you'd still just do 1 damage.
Sure.
So I think it's more about like dice flooding. You know, like game if somebody rolls out and
Palp, this is great.
I mean, yeah, there's interesting. Yeah, although half of his don't have damage sides,
Right.
like force jump bartering if you're in your deck. But it's interesting, just like the combo with this and that reroll one. So it's like if they roll out, hit a bunch of damage, you can do this one, deal like 4 damage or whatever, and then have them reroll all their dice and stuff too. So yeah, they're all interesting.
Yeah, for sure.
This next one is spicy. We got Mind Trick reprinted, basically, except a lot more caveats to it. At least that you have to spot a Jedi now. But there's also the added flexibility of you can split your own dice, I believe. So Jedi Mind Trick, it's a blue hero event. It's a 2 cost, an uncommon. Spot a Jedi to choose a dice pool. An opponent splits the dice in that pool into 2 groups of any size. Either remove all dice in a group or turn any number of dice in a group to the sides of your choice.
Great art.
Yes, this art's pretty dope. And it's like Mind Trick, but better because you could potentially choose your dice if you want, just having that flexibility. But instead of spot blue, it's spot Jedi, which makes more sense thematically as well.
It's neat. I dig it.
Yeah, and I think something like this is a boost to Blue Hero. Them just being able to get access to this, and having mass dice removal, which isn't something that is around currently, except for that Order 66, I guess, is a new one that's coming too.
So hyped for that, by the way.
Yeah, it seems awful. But yeah, this seems interesting. I don't know if it'll ever really be used like for your own dice pool. I think generally it would always be used defensively, but depends on your board state, I guess.
Yeah, maybe if it's like someone's claimed and you have something left to do, or I don't know. Seems kind of situational to use it on your own.
Yeah, but yeah, because even if they claim, like, you figure they've probably already removed a few dice, you probably already resolved a few, so it's like if you're paying 2 to split like 4 dice into 2 pools,
There's nothing they're really particularly worried about.
Yeah.
If they've claimed already or something like that.
Yeah. All right, Tom, you got any thoughts on this?
I'm just happy to see it come back. I think it's a really great card.
Yep.
I think it's a really well-designed card that creates interesting interaction between the players.
Agreed. All right, we got 2 more left. Let's power through these. Tommy, you got the next one.
All right, this is Encircle. It's a 2-cost yellow event that's neutral. It's also an uncommon. It reads spot 3 exhausted characters to remove all character dice.
This goes in my DJ deck, but 3.
This goes in any deck that runs diceless characters.
Yeah. And can activate them quickly. Because if I'm running a deck that's like a middle with impactful character dice, I feel like I'm gonna just watch. Like if they're sitting on 2 and they're like exhausting all their characters, you just resolve your dice in a quick fashion. So unless they have a way to activate like 3 characters very quickly, I don't know. I don't see this being overly great.
I mean, it removes all character dice, so it'll even remove your own. So you have to
Yeah.
be aware of not putting yours in the pool.
Come on, dude. Let Brian roll in his DJ and remove his dice. Yeah, I mean, seems fine. I don't know. But it's something that you can play around relatively
Definitely.
easily, I would think so. I don't
Definitely.
know. All right, Brian, take this last one.
Heroic Stand. Blue hero, 2-cost event. Uncommon. Play only to control exactly 1 character. An opponent has 3 or more dice showing damage. You may ready a character.
Yeah.
Is this the card that Blue Hero needs?
Probably not.
Nah, I don't think so either.
I'm all right with it, though. 2 costs. You could potentially ready a character if it's just like small dice and you're not going to die that action.
Well, if Yoda has 6 shields on him, he can survive 3 damage dice, no problem.
Yes.
If Yoda has 6 shields on him, your opponent is silly.
Oh, is that what he is?
Yep, super
Yeah, okay.
silly.
Yeah.
Big old
You just
silly
tell
guy.
your opponent, you're a silly goose.
You're a
That's what you
silly.
tell him.
Okay. All right, so those are all the
It's getting late.
spoilers.
It's getting late. I'm getting loopy here.
Oh, that's what it is?
No.
I think
No,
that's
sweet.
just you.
Yeah.
Anywho,
All right, so those are all from the FFG stream. You can go back and watch that, but I'm not sure there's anything that you need to get out of that. The spoilers, I mean, we posted them on our Facebook and Twitter, so if you're looking for them, they're available there. The next, we got Team Covenant spoilers. They give us 3 cards in their more weekly teaser stuff, but they actually did spoil like the characters this time, which is a good step. So I'll just read both of them real quick. The first one is a 5-cost, 5 health Night Sister zombie. It's a character witch, and it says indirect damage dealt to you must be assigned to this character last. And it says after you activate this character, you may spot another witch to deal 1 damage to a character that has a curse on them, and she is a common. And that goes with Old Daka, which is a Night Sister Necromancer. 914 is her points, and she has 9 health. She's got 1 range, 2 indirect, 1 disrupt, 1 discard, 1 resource, and a blank. Yeah, she's a character witch. And her text says, after this character is defeated, set each Night Sister zombie you control aside. Power action is spend 1 resource to add a set aside Night Sister to your team exhausted, or 2 Night Sister zombies exhausted instead if this character is elite. She's a blue villain, rare.
I love it. I love these. I think these are so cool.
Yeah, it will certainly depend on the curses.
The curse.
Yeah,
for sure.
to see if they're relevant and see if there's a way to like if there's enough of them to guarantee you like getting 1 turn 1 type thing. Because then if
Man,
not,
they're-
these are
That's just so
weapons.
cool that you could. I don't know. I'm just so fascinated with these. I think they're awesome. I mean, I don't know if they're like, viable in a competitive scene, but I think that there's so much fun to be had here.
Yep. I dig it. Yeah, being able to just add 2 of these turn 1 is pretty crazy. I mean, granted they're exhausted, but I guess that does give you 2 turns or 2 hands to get a curse into your hand before you need one. Unless you run a Night Sister in your team. But
Yeah,
talking about trying to find a curse, I mean, the last one that they spoiled is Common Cause. Spot any number of blue characters to draw that many cards, and it's blue neutral uncommon, 1 cost.
yeah, and that's a problem. That should not have been printed.
Yeah, I don't understand. Like we talk about all these OTKs, you fix them and then you just print more draw ones that don't have a cap. I don't know. It just seems dumb. Like I don't know where this would go and it would be broken, but why even give that an option come when there's 6 sets in standard?
Yeah, and not just that, but now we're adding these, characters that are diceless that you're going to have character spreads. I don't think 4 character spreads are going to be uncommon coming up, which means, you're going to see a lot of damage effects like Fear and Dead Man or the hover tank. Like that stuff just goes up in value. So I don't know. I just think that with that many characters and this much draw, it's scary to think about an OTK deck. And who knows? We only have part of the picture, which is also scary because we don't know what else is going to be printed. But we'll see.
Yep. All right, that covers that for the Team Covenant stuff. So we'll get into Patreon questions, and then we'll kind of wrap up. So, but what are we at? Are we at an hour and a half? Yeah, an hour and a half. So we'll try to breeze through these, but still kind of address some of them are a little bit more jokey than others. So Smirley asked the question: are we living in a Django Daka world? Referring to the new Django and obviously old Daka, which we just talked about.
I like Django a lot, but I'm not sure about Daka yet.
Daka is beautiful. She's perfect.
Great art.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I find it like too hard to say. Like I don't really know what the rest of this set holds, but I mean, it's certainly a character pairing which is worth exploring because Django can get you money back to still play an upgrade and then still get two of the Night Sisters in. So it'll be interesting.
Yeah, I think it's just like Jack said, it's so early. Even cards like Echo Base Trooper that don't appear to have a whole lot going on other than giving you access to red, we might see other trooper mechanics that, you know, you're sacrificing troopers to do X, Y, and Z, and then that card could be like an auto include in like, you know, almost any trooper deck. So you don't know where it's going to end up. It's really hard to say right now. I do like Django. I do like Daka though. I like them both.
Dope. All right, next question we got is from Jedi Geek Girl, and her question is: should Phasma 2 come off the balance of the Force? Why or why not?
I don't know.
I'll so you guys can feed off this a little bit if you want to. I'll say that I would have been fine if she came off, but I think I understand maybe the reasoning potentially because at 13 points that opens up, I think, some good pairings. You know, going back to Kylo. And then even like looking ahead of IG-88 or something like that. And also the fact that she is now a trooper leader, right? And just having that on top of Red Villain just being really good with stuff like Pro, Best Defense, Sinister Peace, just having access to those cards is super relevant. So I think she would have been like a super strong character at 13. And I don't even think she's like been explored fully at 14. Like, I'm surprised she doesn't at least have a deck that is somewhere like tier 2 type aggro. So, I mean, I'd be fine taking her off. I don't think she'll make that much of a wave, but I could maybe see why Jeremy didn't, but did with Ayla, because Blue Hero is so bad right now that they maybe need some little love, whereas Red Villain is fine.
Yeah, I think you nailed it. I think the reason she's on there is because the last thing Villain needs is a bump, even and specifically in red. Red is in a good spot villain wise, and even if the bump it gets is minimal, because you know it's only a little bit better than, I don't know, maybe Price or Dooku or Snoke or whatever your 13-point options. She might only be slightly better than some of them in certain pairings, but there's no need to give a bump to a side or a faction that's already, you know, ahead of the opposite side. So I think that it was just kind of like, it's already there. We already pulled that trigger. The 2-player box, it sucks to have something on the balance of the Force from that. But, you know, we're pretty far removed from that anyway. So it's not like that's the number one thing new players are grabbing. They're probably more likely grabbing the newest starter decks. So I'm fine with them leaving them there or her there. And I see why they did it.
Yep.
I agree. I have nothing to add that hasn't already been said, but I agree with all that. I think she's a great character even at 14. And yeah, there's no real reason to help out Villain when they've got plenty to work with already. Like there's plenty of stuff you can pull from Villain that you don't really need Phasma at 13 to fill in. I mean, she'd be great, but you don't need to.
Cool. Another question from Jedi Geek Girl. It says, what is one positive Star Wars opinion that one of you have that the rest of the team does not share?
I like Shane.
It's not Star Wars.
I don't know if people share it or not, but I know that there's a lot of pushback against The Last Jedi, and I agree with a lot of it. But I'll say that one thing that I really liked about The Last Jedi was what triggered Kylo's fall to the dark side, or really pushed it over, was Luke's failure as a master. I thought that was a great story arc for those characters.
You're my Luke.
Am I pushing you to the dark side?
Yes.
I like Watto a lot.
Yeah, that's a safe one for you. I don't know. I don't know what I have that you guys don't have. I was gonna say something.
I don't know. Yeah. Well, I'm not gonna touch that. You know what? I'm just gonna let that lie.
I was gonna say something just like along Kylo, and that I think his character arc is one of the best in all of Star Wars.
No, he's the best part of the new trilogy in my opinion. So I'm with you.
Yeah. Well, now, all right. So now neither of us have to go back and we have to pick new ones.
All
we
right.
can't.
Yeah, this could be vicious. We might have to get back to you, Jedi Geek Girl. I'm sorry,
but I mean, I think those are good starting points at least. Some positive stuff about The Last Jedi as well, I guess indirectly.
Yeah.
All right. So moving on to the next one. This is they actually asked the question like right at the same time. Jedi Geek Girl and Batman Anderson. Or Batmanderson, sorry.
Batmanderson.
Batmanderson.
My boy, he did nothing wrong. 2 easy pickings in his deck is an honest mistake. He just started playing, and when Chip dimed him out for getting upset with someone who he called a 6-year-old, which was clearly a 9-year-old, and there was clearly history between them, just leave him alone. He did nothing wrong. He's a beautiful man.
Man, I feel like you're about to fight Ray and Chip over.
No, I love Ray and Chip. They're my favorites. But Zach's my boy too.
So yeah, their question was predictions for the diceless villain and red-yellow characters.
Oh, jeez, that's tough.
I don't know if I have anything other than
Mouse droids.
Mouse droids.
I was gonna say Gonk droids, actually.
Would they be? Would they be one of the colors?
Gray. They'd be neutral gray, and you exhaust this character to Gonk.
All right, so that doesn't help me.
No, it doesn't help me either. Is what I'm just saying.
For villain, I don't know. I guess what's in my mind right now from looking at what was the card that we just did? Encircle, like having one of those guys, whatever they're called, from
I think it's from Solo.
Yeah. Oh god, Kessel, whatever they were, those things on Kessel.
The Kessel Spice Miners.
Yeah, something like that.
Maybe for the yellow character, you could have a Cantina musician.
Villain?
Sure.
I mean, you have to be villain to play the same song forever.
That song is evil. I don't know. I have no answer for that. I really no answer.
Villain, I feel like villain could go in a lot of directions. Like they could pick like any number of like the troopers. Like they could do like a snow trooper or something. Yeah. I mean, just what they're doing in Legion, they could just take one of those units and just put it into the dice of the character.
True.
So they got some options. My guess, yeah, it would be some form of trooper and then maybe like a spice miner for villain. Although they could even be neutral, I guess. They're not really villains.
Yeah. I mean, if someone came into your spice mine, you'd react the same way.
Yeah, don't touch my spice.
I mean, spice is basically drugs in the Star Wars universe, so I guess that kind of would be a villainous thing.
So every time I put spice on my meals, I'm doing drugs?
I said in the Star Wars universe.
Star Wars is real.
That's where Jack lives. In the Star Wars universe.
It was just a long time ago. What are you talking about?
Then I apologize, Ancient One.
Bantha Poodoo.
Ancient One. All right. Next question is from Mended. Even with these changes, does Hero have a chance outside of Mill? So probably referring to Ayla.
Not as it stands.
Too early to tell right now. It's too early to tell. I think you need to leverage Rainbow 3-wide, and you have to be able to use all of the good multi-die removal that Hero has at its disposal. And Ayla is going to be key for upping your damage output and controlling your dice, or controlling your opponent's dice and fixing your own dice. I think that she is going to be the key if they're going to make a comeback.
I think they have a chance. It's just they have to work a lot harder than Villain does. Like a lot harder. And more creative too.
How harder?
A lot harder.
Harder?
A lot harder.
Okay.
Next question, please.
But
Is this
I
weird?
mean, no, this is fine. This is normal.
This whole podcast has been weird. This whole episode is just uncomfortable city.
Perfect. If we go back to the podcast when we were talking about like just the changes in general, it seems like all of our minds were going in like a Watt Tambor, like rainbow 3-wide type thing, and I just don't see that changing. You know what I mean? Like I just don't see right now. If you look at the game, like what are the best things that you could play in the game for like a 3 cost, a 4 cost, and a 5 cost? Like it's still probably Entourage, Mega Blaster, and Fist. So it's like, why even try to break out of that mold yet? Why not just go back to that and see how we can keep that going before we like even look at hero type thing? And as we talked about, like Aphra is just 3-wide can't ramp as fast anymore, I think, without Snoke. So now Aphra has a chance to catch up to them and put them on more of a clock, and then she just automatically had that clock against 2-wide. So now it's like just looking at it, can Hero beat Aphra out of the gate? That's why I think her and like Phasma are like public enemy number ones on top of whatever pops up with Watt as this meta kind of unfolds a little bit. But that's what I'm just kind of thinking for. So roundabout answer, no.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right. So next question is from Banana Crapshoot, our new co-host here at Golden Dice Podcast. We took him from discard to reroll just to give Chip a heart attack. Not actually though. But anyways, he says, if we get creatures/monsters, how would you like them implemented? New color, new faction, all neutral.
I think all neutral gray.
All neutral.
I would
gray.
love to just whip out a Wampa.
Yeah.
Could you? There's no thematic.
Is that what the kids are calling it these days?
I just want to whip out my Wampa. I don't know. I'm sorry. Anyway, sorry.
I feel like they got to be planning. Like, I don't know. At this point, the fact that we haven't seen any of them makes me think Jeremy has something. I don't know what that
With
would be.
creatures?
Yeah.
I hope that they do something where like they're like so everything that you have on your faction right now is very like under control, like, you know, sentient, like has control over itself. I hope they add something that shows that it's wild, unless there's like a beast taming like Malakili from the Rancor pit on in Jabba's palace. Like I hope there's a mechanic that makes it, I don't know how to describe what I'm trying to say, but like something that makes it a little more
persuades
like
it to be-
uncontrollable. Like you can't, unless you have something
Like a
that
trainer
can
subtype
keep it-
has to be in your
like
deck
some
for-
sort of trainer
yeah.
or
That'd be
something
interesting.
that can keep it under wraps. That's, I don't know if they're going to go new color or neutral or what, but I hope that they add something, because I think that would be at least fresh to have something like a little more high risk, high reward type stuff.
Yeah. And I mean, some of that stuff can be combined too. Like you could do, like if you were to bring in Malakili and the Rancor, that could be just like yellow villain type things. And
Oh, for sure, that could be encased in yellow villain for
Yeah.
sure.
I don't know. Yeah, so there's some options. It'll be interesting to see. I would assume like we're getting them. Like some of the stuff, like I feel like since the beginning of this game, people have talked about like let's get creatures in here, but we still haven't seen them. So that's why I'm thinking like something bigger is up. Whereas like some stuff like episode or the Last Jedi episode 8, like as soon as we saw Rey and Kylo, like that's already in the game now or about to be. So you know that just makes me think like if Jeremy can do a quicker turnaround for something like that, then I would assume we can do like if he wanted monsters in the game in its current format, they would be in here already. But because they're not, makes me think something different.
I'm
will
not
come.
convinced. I'm not convinced that we don't get them in Spark of Hope. Like with all the tribal stuff,
Yeah.
like creature could just be a subtype, and even like trainer or whatever could be a subtype. Like Beastmaster or something like that could be something, or a keyword or whatever that could be introduced in Spark of Hope or even Set 9. That, you know, because like mods, who saw mods coming at the end of a cycle?
Jeremy,
Yeah,
I just proved you wrong.
you did. You proved me
right.
wrong.
Get right
But that's
to
what
it.
I'm saying. I'm saying
Yeah.
we could see that in
Yep.
in the third set of this block.
Yeah. There's it's interesting too, like how some of that stuff happens. Normally, you talk about like the first set of a block changing stuff, like Legacy's adding indirect and power actions and stuff like that. But then they introduce mods in the third set. Now we get diceless characters in a second set. So it's interesting. They can really just kind of do whatever whatever they're feeling. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that goes. Speaking of Diceless characters, we have a question from Nathan, and he says, are Diceless characters a good design space? Apart from Ewoks is maybe a one-off, they feel boring/bland.
Is that Bastanzi?
A what?
Is that Nathan from like the Vader Nathan?
No, I don't think so.
That's my boy. I like him.
So
Sorry, go ahead.
I like this Nathan, for the record. But
Yep, I don't like this Nathan
Yep,
at all.
there you go. I'll be your friend, Nathan.
Sorry,
Nate.
sorry.
I'm gonna call him Nate because we're cool like that now. I think that the scary part for me with Diceless characters are now you're adding more actions, you're spreading out into more characters, and this is the potential for rounds to take even longer. I prefer to play the style where I take a lot of actions in one round, or as Scott would call it, I dirtle. So I think that we're just that could be a compounding issue where 35 minutes is harder and harder to encompass the entire game, especially if we're going to expand beyond 3 rounds, which I think most people hope that we push into 4 or 5 rounds for a game. But now if you've got 5 characters to activate, unless 2 of them die round 1, you're adding more actions to the game. You're adding more dice, more triggers, more whatever.
I see Diceless characters as no more than a way to include a color to a deck that's already kind of stacked.
Well, then you're wrong, because I mean, look at Daka and Chiripa with the. I mean, come on, seriously though, they're build around mechanics that they've included. Like Echo Base Trooper, yeah, right now he just looks like that, like he's just a shoe-in for the color red. But I mean, there are things that are built, like the entire deck is going to be built around curses and having a bunch of these little zombie witches.
For the record, I'm always wrong, and this is nothing new.
You're wrong.
So I'm going to stick with my opinion, Dad.
You're wrong.
It's nothing I haven't heard before.
Wrong.
Wait, tell me again. Well, what am I?
Put your Wampa away.
I'll say that I don't know if they're a bad design space, but I don't really care to. I don't know. Like I don't see myself. I'll probably play like an old Daka deck with the zombies like once or twice, but overly not excited.
I know you're going to play against it a lot.
Yeah, of course. No, you're not allowed on my stream. It's the only time you play anyways.
Daka.
Savage Daka. Oh,
whoa. Don't go crazy on me now.
All right. Next one is, can you steadfast a red or yellow character? That's from Banana. No, you cannot. If you watch the stream, I haven't played steadfast in so long. I was so zoned in on Lord Santeco being able to move events.
Well, you're wrong, Jack. You're wrong.
I was wrong. Good thing Shane read the card.
Say it again. Tell him what he is.
A
This is
Wampa?
a once in a lifetime chance. Tell Jack he's wrong. He's never wrong.
All right, and the next question comes.
This is the one. This is the one that everybody wants to know.
This Banana wants to know, why does Flockton yell at his crotch?
Mm-hmm.
And I think only Flockton knows that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really want to talk about it.
Now, Brian, why would you yell at Flockton's crotch? Just put yourself in his.
He was wiggling his Wampa.
He whipped out his Wampa. I just couldn't.
Oh.
Do I have to yell at just his crotch, or can I yell at the rest of him too?
All right, we're at like 2 hours, so we're gonna wrap up.
Yeah, that's
All right, so as always, guys, check us out on Facebook, on Twitter, YouTube, Twitch. We're on all those things. We're gonna be streaming tomorrow night. Tommy, you got the okay?
I got the okay.
All right, so me versus Tommy tomorrow. Another rematch. I got to redeem myself. I can't believe I let Tommy get a win on stream. So that'll be the premiere match, as Brian is at the movies tomorrow night.
Yeah, Dark Phoenix. It's gonna be a bad one, boys. It looks bad.
All right. All right. Who wants to sign off? I'll let you guys choose.
Tommy.
No one's ever really wrong.